Hey everyone and welcome back. I will show you how to make a Zustand store or state persistent on the user device. Zustand state or states in general are saved in memory. So if the user close the app and open it again, the state will vanish and will reset to the default information. In some cases, we want to save the state, like if we allowing the user to modify the theme or some kind of setting in our app, we want to keep that information persistent on the user device. So we usually do it manually by handling all the logic about saving and reading and modifying all these information on the user device. But this can come with a built-in middleware that take responsibility for all this work. So you don't have to care about writing all this logic about writing, reading, and importing all these information in the state to allow the user to modify it again. You just have to care about the state management, and you're gonna delegate the whole work about saving and manipulating data on the storage and syncing the data between the storage and the state. We're gonna delegate all this work to the Zustand. So I will show you now. We're gonna begin by creating a simple UI. I don't want to create a fancy or large UI. I just want to create a very simple UI to focus on the functionality and just to confirm that it works and our state is being properly saved on the user device. Okay, now I have an empty index.tsx here. Let me just first center the content. I will say flex one, justify center, align items to be center. And let's create a button. Let's import the button. And the button will be responsible about toggling the theme between light and dark. And let's create a placeholder function. I will say, let's create empty function. And let's create two other buttons. I will say view and pressable. And okay, inside the pressable, I will say small or large. And let's import the pressable. And I will say on press. We're gonna set the size to be small. Let's create another placeholder function. It take either small or large. And here we are going to say on press, it's gonna be large, and we're gonna replace this to be large. Okay, now you have two buttons. One button is to toggle the theme, and the second button is about changing the font from small to large. As you can see, I'm just creating very simple options here, but of course, in the real world scenario, things are the options gonna be different, of course. Okay, now I'm going to create a new folder. I will call it stores, and inside it, I will create a general store. This is gonna be the Zustand store. Let me first install the Zustand. I will say npm install Zustand. And let's wait a second. Okay, now let's import the create function from Zustand, and let's define the TypeScript is gonna be interface general store, and the first thing is gonna be the theme. It's gonna be either light or dark, and then we're gonna have the function set theme, and after that we're gonna have the font size. It's gonna be either small or large, and then we're gonna have the function set font size. And as you see, AI is suggesting the creation of the store in here. So we have the default values. It's gonna be the theme gonna be light, and the font size is going to be small. And now we have the two functions that will be that we're gonna use to update these two properties. So I'm going to go back into the index, and I will import everything from the Zustand. Let me go up, import, use general store, and then we're gonna import the two properties, the theme and the font size, and also the two functions. And now we're gonna replace the update theme. Actually, let me, instead of having the set theme, let me go back and let's define in TypeScript toggle theme. And here we're gonna add that function. It will check if the theme is light. It will change it into dark. Otherwise, it's gonna be light. And we're gonna go back into the index, and we are going to import the toggle theme. And also, I want you to notice something crucial in here. I'm not using the shallow function that comes with the Zustand, which we can use just like that. Use shallow state, and we are going to return. Let me first import the use shallow. Okay, it's not that one. Import use shallow. Yes, this one. Actually, it's not this one. Yeah, just like that. Okay. Now, as you can see, if you have in your store, if you have many other properties, like in some stores, you can have hundreds of properties just like this. And if you don't use the use shallow, every single property will get updated from the store. That component is going to update. But here they use shallow. It makes sure that only these two properties are going to work as the dependencies. Only when those two properties updates, our component will get updated. Of course, our app is very simple, but I wanted you to be aware of that because if you have a large app, this will dramatically lower your app performance. So now everything is good. Let me just one final thing. Let's set the font size to be small or large, and now let's save and let's go back to our app and let's refresh. And actually, let me improve the style of my buttons. I'm going to make it raw, and let me say style. Now let's create a style sheet object. Okay, and let's import the style sheet, and then I will say the button. Okay, it's gonna be styles dot button, and also this one, and then we're gonna also add style to the text. I will say styles dot text, and let's again add another property. It's going to be text, and let's save. Now all good. Let's add one final component. It's going to be just a basic text just to test the font size. Now AI is suggesting it, so let's wrap this in another view, and now we are checking if the font size is small, it's going to be 16, otherwise it's going to be 24. Now let me add some padding. Actually padding top is going to be 30. Okay, now we have the hello world. Let's try to toggle our theme. Nothing happens. That is because we still have not configured our UI to depend on the theme. So let me say background color is going to be to check if the theme is light. The background color is going to be white, or otherwise it's going to be black, and the text color using the same methodology is going to be light. In the light theme it's going to be black, otherwise it's going to be white. And here we are going to update the background. It's going to be just background, and also the text. Which text we have to update? Okay, let's just test on the home. It's going to be text color, and let's save and let's toggle the theme. Okay, also let's update this one. It's going to be inherit the color as well, and as you can see we are able to toggle the theme and also the text size. Now the problem here is if you refresh the app, all settings will be reset to the default. So, and that is the purpose of that video, is to show you how to make these information persistent on the user device. Again, if you're gonna do that manually, you'll have to take care about all the logic, which is gonna take a long time from you, because you're gonna care about saving the information and then reading it and then importing it into the state. And then after you update it, you'll have to save it again into the local storage. But Zustand comes with a middleware, it's called Persist, which take care about all that logic. So let's go into our store, and I will import the Persist from Zustand/middleware. And here, instead of just calling create, as you can see, we call the create, and inside the create function, we are passing our function which include or contain our object. But now we are going to keep that parentheses empty. We're going to use the querying function, and inside that we are going to put our code. Now the persist function takes two arguments. The first argument is going to be the object, it's usually the one that you put in the traditional create function that comes with the Zustand. And the second argument is going to be the configuration for the persist function. The first value you have to provide is the key for the storage. Let's say general, okay, let's keep it just general store. And the second argument or the second value is going to be the storage engine. Now, you might wonder why we're going to provide an engine. That is because the persist function, it takes care about the logic, but it doesn't have internal engine for saving and reading from the storage. So you will have to provide an engine, external engine. So in the web version, you don't have to provide any like the storage engine. You just have to make it local storage because the browser itself has a built-in functionality that take care about saving and reading the storage. But if you are using or if you're implementing it in app like React native or something, you will have to use external library, and the most popular library is the async storage. I think I have already installed it. Let me check. Okay, I have the storage already. Sorry, I have the library already installed in here, but you can just npm install the library, and let's go back into the store, and I will also import first the create JSON storage, but because we are, it comes from the same place, let's just put it in here, and let's import the async storage, and we are going to pass the async storage in here. Now let's save and let's refresh our app. Now let's try to toggle the theme. Okay, that it works. Now let's refresh our app. As you can see, the theme have saved on the local storage for the user. Now, if the user close the app and come back again, he will find the same configuration that he have tweaked. Now, there's something additional we can add in here. It's called partialize. Now, this is very, very valuable because imagine, again, if you have hundreds of properties in here, like you can have many other properties, and you just want to save the font size and theme. What happens is if you keep it just like that, the persist function will save the whole object. Of course, it doesn't save the functions, but it will save every other property, all the properties. So if you have more properties, you will have to define those that you want to save in here. So if I say I just want to save the theme, and let me now refresh my app, and now I will toggle the theme, and I will also change the font. If I refresh, the font will come back again to the default state. Let me show you. Now the font is now back to the small state. That is because we have told the persist function to just save that specific property. Now if we remove it, the persist function is going to save the whole object, only the properties, of course. Again, it doesn't save the functions. So let's refresh our app, and now I will change the font to be large, and I will toggle the theme. Now let's refresh our app. As you can see, the font size has been saved. So this is very, very important thing to learn, because again, I used before to take care about all that logic myself, and it's very complicated logic because you have to sync the storage with the current state. But now Zustand, which is a very powerful state management, if you're not using state management, I highly suggest that you use it and also use it with the persist function. Thank you very much. I hope that was beneficial to you, and again, thank you and happy coding.